Hello and welcome to another episode of the Magic Hour. I'm your host Majid and Dairy, aka Magic Lab. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Majid and Dairy and on my Instagram, which is at Fame Film Agency. Today's guest, my returning guest, is the good old wonderful artist slash protester Malak Khaleel. How you doing,
Thank
love?
you. Good, good. How are you?
I'm very, very well, thank you. And I want to congratulate you and compliment you on the last protest we had outside the Adelaide Convention Centre. Your speech was very powerful, very moving, spoke with a lot of emotion. And I think it was also very effective towards the end of your speech when you were listing the names of all those lives that were lost. I mean, they weren't, you didn't, not all of them, but a long list. I think that got a lot of people's attention. You got a lot of people thinking, like, when they are no longer a statistic and you put a name
Yeah.
to it, it completely changes the perspective of the whole situation. And that's what I want to congratulate the most on that. I thought that was very brave, and I think that was a very daring move. And it definitely got a lot of people's attention. I noticed at the end of the protest, when it was all over, you were getting a lot of hugs and praise from the protesters that were there to watch this. I mean, like, what made you want to have your speech take that kind of direction? What were like? Were you thinking that I don't want the people to think of them as a statistic? I want them to see them as human beings. Is that how you came about to make the speech?
Um, I've never planned a speech. This has been from the start of this. I feel like I started giving speeches publicly in high school because my teacher thought that the students that I went to school with have never met someone that was a refugee or a brown person.
Wow.
And it became like a platform. So I was literally offered a platform from school, and then it moved on to university. And then this happened, and I was offered a chance to give a couple of speeches about a few things. And I think when you come from where we come from and you read the news every day and you see what's happening, there's no planning needed. I feel like every time I've gone up and spoken about what's happening that week, you it just comes from the heart because it's hurting from there. So I feel that morning we were watching a lot of people standing and we were speaking about Palestine, and it wasn't just getting to them. We were talking about the young Australian men that have no attachment to anything that we were saying that morning. And you could see them throughout the day that they were listening. The more speeches were going forward, they started to listen closely. And like you said, the statistic aspect of things. When you say 40,000 Palestinians, which is no longer a statistic, we've surpassed that number months ago. It's just a number to people's heads. But when you say this is a human being, this could have been me, this could have been you, but the lottery of our birth, where our parents were, ended up us being here today. And I feel like reinforcing that idea of we are all human beings, and here is a human name that I'm reading that had family and dreams and aspirations that you and I also have. But a government decided, you know what, we want the land that you're on, and we're gonna bomb you for it.
Do you think why Australia is waking up more and more every day, or do you still feel like the majority of them simply just don't care?
I want to be optimistic because there has been a lot of change. There has been an insane number of people that know about what's happening more than before, but it's whether or not they're doing anything about it to begin with, or whether this knowledge is moving them to understand their complicity and where we are in all of this. So you can know about something, you can read the news and know what's happening, but we are at a point of we need action. We're at a point of we can no longer open the advertiser and see a Lebanese man's blown up at the front of the newspaper and move on with our lives.
Yeah, well,
This is my dilemma of they know what's happening, but what are they doing about it?
the thing is, like, a lot of people feel, and I sometimes feel this way, like, even with people who have good intentions that want to do something positive, that are trying to do something, even if it's just educating somebody
Yeah.
that's unaware, or trying to convert those that hate Arabs so much to make them understand why it is that they hate. Like, it gets to a point, like, even when you're watching all of these news and you're reading all of these articles, it gets to the point where you say to yourself, this is hopeless. And I feel helpless. I feel like I can't do my part. I feel like I'm completely powerless to any of this because, like, I felt that way for a while actually, and in some way I still do because I mean, okay, I can make this video, and I do videos. I've filmed the last few protests and I filmed them, edited them, want to share for people to appreciate, to learn, to get educated, to understand, hopefully get support. But like, but on the great scale of things, it's really not. it's not as impactful as we would hope, because like I feel like we are a bunch of mice fighting a gorilla, and we're trying to get that attention. We really want to try to do some kind of positive change, but even if we were allowed to, I always feel there's going to be some kind of obstacle that will purposely stop us from doing it. For the same reason they're stopping aid getting in through to the Palestinians. It's there. It's there.
Yeah.
They're just not letting it go through. Like, we're here, but we're not going to be heard. Like, even in the States recently, Mehdi was saying that they have Palestinian voices, but they are not allowing those voices to be heard. They block them and censor them they don't censor them because they don't have a chance to talk, let alone to censor them. They just block them outright because because if you only hear one side of the story, then that's the only story that you have to believe. They're not giving us an option to hear the other side. It's like it's a one-sided debate. So that's why I feel like it's completely hopeless, because I feel hopeless. I feel guilty that I can't do anything. I'm not the only one that feels that way. I just feel guilty that I can't do anything. I feel like I'm going to be judged by God for not doing enough. Even if your heart's in the right place, what are you actually doing? Nothing, or close to nothing. Not whatever it is that you're doing, it's not enough, and I don't think it's ever going to be enough at this point. And if they're going to continue to block our voices, those ones that are in power at least, then what chance do we have? I mean, we can only raise awareness to have these people who are in power to not be blocked so that we can hear them. We need to demand to hear them. Maybe something good can come out of it. I just thank God that we have two strong speakers in our arsenal, and that is Mehdi Hassan and Bassem Youssef. One's a comedian and one's a journalist. All right? And the comedian is a good journalist. And the journalist can be a good comedian sometimes. I've noticed that he does crack some good jokes. But at least we have these two, and people are listening to these two.
That's your side of the internet. My side of the internet is, I was talking to you about it before. H3 podcast is going on an online rampage about anti-Semitism. About this, when this all started, he had a political podcast with someone called Hassan Piker. So Hassan is a Turkish, I think he's in early 30s, like young man, according to the internet. Does political streaming. That's his entire platform. These two men, Muslim Turkish background, a Jewish American background, come together to make this podcast. Over a year, peace and love, whatever. October 7th happened. The podcast starts crumbling. And you start to see some things coming up from Ethan, because his wife used to serve in the IOF. And the stories throughout the year that they had is like, oh, she did not, it was mandatory, she had to serve. And another video came out of her saying, I wanted to go to a settlement to see what was happening. And a few more things started to come out. The first attack that happened when Israel claimed the first hospital that got attacked in Gaza, it was a misfire from Hamas. That first attack that happened, it was filmed live on Al Jazeera. A reporter was literally filming, and it happened behind her. Ethan went on the internet to say, it's Hamas, Israel would never bomb a hospital. This is insane.
Okay.
They have not left a single hospital standing since.
No, of course not.
Let's leave that aside. This man is now going on the internet. Any Muslim, not even Muslim, any creator with a brown ethnic name, he's going after. If you're criticizing Israel, you are anti-Semitic. If you are calling me a Zionist for my beliefs, my very obvious Zionist beliefs, you can't call me a Zionist because that means you're anti-Semitic.
Yeah, well, they're using that as a way to shield themselves, to justify the evil that they do.
It's not evil. No, it's not. It's very calculated. It is. If you are going to have a meltdown on the internet about an ex-friend with a Muslim name, doing it very publicly. Inside
they have
of
no
America,
shame. They have no shame.
It's no shame, no accountability, no thinking. You are calling someone a terrorist on the internet inside of America.
Yeah.
As a multi-millionaire white man, we are getting to a point where their privilege is surpassing. He is sitting in a multi-million-dollar house saying, don't be anti-Semitic to me, but I'll call you a terrorist, and call on the government to come and investigate you.
So he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. And
he's a Zionist liberal who is like trying to grasp at anything to try and claim that Israel should have the right to exist. They're trying to claim that this mass genocide that's happened for the past year should keep going because their Zionist agenda, it's all crumbling. Their capitalist agenda, it's not happening anymore.
Well, most white millionaires are the ones that lead terror. They're actually billionaires as well, but they're
You
the
don't
ones
become
that,
a billionaire
you know,
without
yeah,
reaching this point. Yeah.
it's just this is. I think I can understand why he's doing that because it is a very good tactic to get people on his side.
Oh
You
my
know what I
God.
mean?
The
Right?
victim card, the
you know,
never-ending victim card.
exactly right. But they have no ground to stand on because more and more every day people are waking up to these lies. All right. And if they say if you don't agree with my belief as a Zionist, Zionists don't have beliefs. It's an ideology. All right. It's not Judaism. It's not Christianity where there's faith involved. There's no faith in Zionism. There's no God in Zionism. What belief are they talking about? All right. It brings me to this very interesting point. I mean, like, with what, like you said, there are two sides of the internet. I was mentioning my side, you mentioning your side, right? One of the things that I came to learn is, because I spent a lot of time on the internet doing research, a lot of time reading, is that I found out that whenever we hear about another tragedy that Israel has done to the Palestinians or to the Lebanese or to Arabs in general, like immediately following this the news, all right, is we hear from a celebrity or a celebrity journalist that's pro-Israeli immediately to defend it, all right, or to make excuses for it. Uh, one of the news stories was that there was this woman, Minister May Golan. She called. They were interviewing her the other day, and she goes,
לכן אני חושבת שעל דבר כזה, מה שהערבים צריכים לקבל היום זה נכבה. זה הכל. לא שטחים, נכבה.
she's calling for another Nakba to the Palestinian people. All right. She goes, because they are trying to do a second Holocaust on us, so now we need to do another Nakba on them. Her words, they need another Nakba. And following this horrible news that she set out so blatantly, so easily, and she said it with such hatred. All right. I mean, even the language they speak and the way they speak it sounds vile to me. All right. Right away, you get somebody like Piers Morgan or Bill Maher that is basically defending that or supporting. Yes, I think Hamas, not Palestine anymore. I think Hamas need to go through another Nakba. Hamas did not go through Nakba. Palestinians went through.
Hamas did not exist in
They did
1948.
not exactly right. But do you know what I'm saying? All right. So but the point is, whenever something happens, we got somebody automatically.
The mouthpiece, yeah.
They're connecting it together.
Yeah.
It's like recruiting, basically. It's like winning the audience's approval. Whose side should you go on? It's like a huge debate. Right? What about the bulldozing recently? The bulldozing of over 100 Palestinians, and then the Israeli soldiers that did the bulldozing, all of a sudden saying, "We are traumatized by what we have done, and we have feelings too, and we need to be."
Them. It wasn't them saying that. That was the CNN reporters writing it from that perspective. It wasn't even the soldiers saying, "Oh, feel bad for me." The reporters who are meant to be journalists reporting on this war, the title was, "We left Gaza, but Gaza never left us." As they're describing themselves causing the genocide, they're saying, "I've got PTSD."
So CNN came up with the title, "War Criminals Have Feelings Too"?
Pretty much.
So that did not come from an Israeli soldier or
Yeah.
soldiers?
But even literally that's what I'm saying. This is when we talk about Western media manufacturing consent and writing it from the perspective of the people running the bulldozer. Even in the article itself, if you read it, it says, "We saw people crushed alive." Brother, you didn't see them. You crushed people alive.
Yeah.
You don't say, "Oh, we saw 5,000 buildings get demolished. I demolished 5." How are they misquoting? They let these people... Also, one of the two people that were the main focus of the story was a soldier that committed suicide in June because he refused to go back to serve in Gaza. And the other one, his buddy in that same bulldozer machine, is still alive. So they're interviewing the mother and the wife of the deceased, of the one that killed himself. And then they're interviewing the one that's still alive. Okay. The mother is saying, "Oh, I think my son came back with the night terror, the insomnia that he had, the fact that he couldn't go to sleep anymore, that he's a father. He might have killed someone and not talked to us about it. That's not how we raise our kids." Brother, your son was on the news in your parliament. Admitting it publicly. There are videos of the same guy saying, "Yeah, we stopped counting of the 5,000 house that we demolished."
It's
They
funny.
were like, it was a tally board for them. They were doing it like a video game side quest.
Yeah, no, I totally get it because I saw the footage, and the fact that when they say we didn't raise our kids to be that way, that's exactly how you raise your children to be that way.
That is how you were raised. That's how you send them to the battleground.
They actually have story books, like, you know, nighttime books that you read to children, you know, like fairy tale books. They actually have books about what Israeli people should do to Arabs, how much they should hate them and get an opportunity to kill them, and they are no good and whatever, right? They actually have bedtime story books like this that they read to their children from the ages of 3 or 4 years old. What the hell do you expect them to grow up to be, you know? They can have a choice to not teach that. Palestinian children, when they lose their parents, what choice do they have to be when they grow up? They have no more opportunities. Their only choice, I mean, if you think about it, if you're a child who've lost your parents or you lost your family in war as collateral damage, and you are in a miracle way that you survived, what are you going to grow up to want to do? You're going to want to seek some kind of vengeance. You're not going to love what happened to you. You're not going to love the people that did this to you. All right, what choice do you have? I mean, Israel is not as stupid as they want maybe some of us to believe. They do know that the more they kill, the more children they orphan, the more recruit for Hamas that's going to be in the future. In 20 years' time, Hamas is going to probably be 10 times stronger than they are right now. And they're already giving Israel a hard time. They've been giving them an ass whooping, right? And even in Lebanon, Hezbollah, right? They just killed over 70 IDF soldiers, and they destroyed 28 Merkan tanks. 28, right? And again, the connection. Bill Maher is saying not one soldier has died. There hasn't been any casualties. The Israeli press right away said that what Netanyahu is doing to both Lebanon and Palestine, he's not wrong on what he is doing. It's justifiable, right? Like straight away.
The support is...
It's like they're not wasting any time. It's as if they are connected. Oh, we're gonna release this news. We want you to say something about it. You know, it's as if it's connected somehow. But the Israelis have to understand that what they are doing is they're feeding the fire. They're not putting it out. They're trying to put out this so-called fire of Hamas terrorists.
For example, the Sinwar video that they released, that his last moments being alive with that drone flying in and him sitting there and like his last act of throwing the stick at the drone. They published that thinking, oh, we won. Look at this.
Yeah.
I saw an Israeli journalist debating other journalists in like an Israeli TV show. And he was going to them, he goes, you guys published this thinking that you made him look like a bad guy or like the Palestinians will hate him. You made him a symbol of resistance. You need to think. They don't think like us. They don't think like the Palestinians. They will never see it from our perspective because they have a different mentality. To them is bloodshed, bloodshed, bloodshed. We have to like keep this force going to get what we want. They don't see it from the point, the hierarchical system that they have in mind, thinking that Al-Quds Sinwar and Hamas will crumble. They don't see us how they play in a level field.
Yeah.
They tried to act like Sinwar was hiding amongst the civilians. He was hiding amongst the hostages.
Yeah.
All these things, they tried to paint him as this supreme leader like Netanyahu is. You are projecting. That is how you guys do it. You have a hierarchical system where the top dog, Netanyahu will never carry a gun to go fight in the front line. Are you kidding?
Of course not.
That will never happen.
No more than a president would.
So the fact that they don't even think like us, they will never look at it that way.
No, of course
they
not.
don't see it from a humanitarian perspective of people fighting for their lives.
I didn't get the name of the person that said this following quote. He said, leave or stay and be killed. It's their choice. All right? Don't fight back. I'm a horrible journalist. I didn't get the guy's name who said this, but I did write down this quote. They were interviewing this. He's obviously an Israeli politician. Again, not knowing the name, but he was basically saying they have to leave. If they stay, then they're going to be killed.
Yeah.
We're giving them the choice to not be killed by leaving. All right.
So it's either genocide or mass displacement and ethnic cleansing.
Yeah. You know.
Choose your death.
Yeah. It's their choice. All right. and the audacity. Don't fight back. Don't fight back. Like we're supposed to just take it.
Just leave your home, leave your land.
Like we're supposed to take it constantly. Resistance is It's necessary. It's more than necessary. It's an obligation.
It's a human right. Let's
All right?
begin with that.
All
It's
right?
a human right.
It is a human right. Now, we know that they hold all the cards and they are immune to be convicted or to be arrested. They are holding all the cards.
Impunity, yeah.
Yeah, right. But now the thing is, bad enough. It's bad enough that they can do this and get away with it, and they know it. What's worse is they're making videos now and bragging about it. They are boasting.
It's not the worst. It's not like the worst aspect of this is that this is the best aspect of having access to the internet. Is that their own soldiers are publishing their war crimes.
Yeah,
they can sit in the UN
documenting
and
everything.
say, we're not doing this, we're not doing this. That's what they literally pulled TikTok videos in front of the UN as evidence. Like, okay, actually, this is your soldiers. This is this guy from this unit. Your own people, they love this. They're bragging about it to the point of they want to post about it on the internet.
And what's being done about it?
It's a matter of pride to them.
And what's being done about it? So now, the horrendous stuff they post online, right, makes you want to comment hateful things. You motherfuckers, you should all be dead. Something like that. You try to post that, you get a message, bonk, that violates the guidelines. You want to edit.
Not even that. Mu'taz Azaiza's Instagram account was struck down for they tried to mark what was happening in Gaza, like all the violent videos that were coming out, as sexual content. They tried to mark his videos down as sexual content, and they deleted his account for a few days. What twisted mentality? Who is sitting behind these screens to mark things like this?
Well, that's the thing, again...
this is a journalist doing his job.
Yeah.
No hateful... just posting what was happening.
But you know what? Let's scratch that for a second. Freedom of speech, it's a freedom to speak, to say whatever you want to say. Even if people don't like it, you have the right to say whatever you say, whether it's vile.
I disagree with that.
You do? Like if I see...
It's not a fundamental right.
If I see something horrendous, if I see a Palestinian... Sorry, if I see Israelis running over Palestinians, I have the right to say, you motherfuckers, how dare you? I hope you get bulldozed one day. And that could be taken off. You know what I mean?
They have these guidelines.
But
they can run us over. You can't say that. But
no. But what I'm saying is, I am seeing people being bulldozed over. I am seeing it in front of my eyes on this screen. Right? How can you not mention being bulldozed if you're seeing somebody getting bulldozed? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the thing is, like, a lot of the time when we see things like that, we don't think. We just want to respond because we are in heat now. We are pissed. We are angry. We got this energy I want to let out. I want to say something. Right? I don't care if it pisses people off. This has pissed me off. All right? And if this pisses you off more than what I'm going to say about it, then there's something more wrong with you than it is with me.
Yeah.
All right? What I'm saying is this whole censorship thing has to die down a little bit. Has to give us some wiggle room. All right? Because people need to express themselves. And some people do express themselves in many different ways. If you're angry, for most people, the natural way to respond when you're angry is to curse. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck me, look what's happening. Right? Nobody has seen a video of somebody getting blown up or a child with missing limbs and they say, oh, that poor kid. No, they say, oh my God, fucking hell, if anybody did that to my child, I'm going to want this and I'm going to want that and whatever. What angers me is now, because they are boasting about it, they are celebrating, they are dancing literally on top of these dead bodies. And when we say these people need to be excommunicated, these people are the ones that need to get killed, these people need to face trial, they need to be in prison for life and have them go through what Palestinians go through, all of a sudden people that are making these comments are the bad guys.
That's what I'm saying. It's the ones that do it, they can post it completely fine. But yeah.
A large part of the funding, Israel just got given another $28 billion. A large part of their funding is not just 90% of it all goes to military aid, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But a large part of that is internet monitoring. Who's saying what against us, so that we can discredit them.
It's part of their security and defense.
You know what I mean? We need to discredit these people, right? And every time I see somebody discredit, and it's always like a word or a sentence, I just reply bot. All right? Thank God that the bot is not censored, but it will be soon. I'm sure they're going to censor it because, hey, they're calling us bots because we are, and we can't have them know that we are.
But that also exists, bots, bot farming.
So and everybody, a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are agreeing, and a lot of people are figuring out who the bots are. Right? When you're seeing a video of a Palestinian child, fatherless, motherless, familyless, and it's like 4 or 5 years old, fending for himself to try to find water. All right? You see a comment saying, "Long live Israel." You know what I mean? All right. You see those comments in that video. Long live Israel. To do that, I wrote down bot. No, because I don't know. I don't want to believe, even though I'm sure there is, but some part of me doesn't want to believe that there's somebody that horrible that could say that. You know what I mean? Like, why? It's things like this that makes us feel completely powerless because I can't say anything. I'm censored. I can't feel what I want to feel. They'll shut me down for 24 hours. I can't make a comment for 24 hours. That's happened to me 7 times this past 3 months. I made a comment. You can't make a comment for 24 hours because what you said was hateful. What I said was hateful? Do you not see what I'm commenting on? Is that not hateful? Them dancing on top of graves is not hateful. Right? You allow videos like that to be posted. Right? But you're gonna censor my comment. I made a video with my son. And I put a small clip, only a small clip, how to deal with children that smoke dope. Right? It's just a small clip. I wanted to make a teaser. They took it down. They said you're not supposed to have video of children smoking. Right? But it was like a comedy sketch. I made it very clear. Right? But they took that down. The entire video with the smoking is in the whole video. That's still uploaded. They don't have a problem with that. Right? But because I made a 30-second clip, how to deal with your children if you catch them smoking dope, right? They cut it down. Oh, because this is encouraging kids to smoke dope. It's not.
It's literally the opposite.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they took it down. They gave me a warning. If I did it again, they'll ban my YouTube channel. Now, how can that be taken down and dancing on graves and celebrating and laughing and whatever is still up there and hasn't even been warned to be taken down? You know how you see some of these videos, watch this video before it gets banned because it's an important message, but they're still up there. So something much greater than us is allowing, is telling people, hey, this is not good, but this is okay. This is acceptable, but this is not acceptable.
Yeah, Al Jazeera just did a report, I think yesterday or the day before, about these Meta employees that just have quit. And a bunch of them, a few got fired, a few have quit because of this was happening. The person that was responsible for Mu'taz Azaiza's Instagram account getting flagged with all of these things started bringing it up to management and saying, this is wrong. Like, why are we doing this? So he was forwarding these problems. I really recommend you should watch it. Inside it, there's like a manual problem of people just canceling requests, canceling all these things on purpose, putting forward. Meta was involved in the Egyptian riots, the political riots, the Myanmar political riots, the Chinese riots, the internet, social media, Meta in particular. Zuckerberg is like this with the Israelis. Elon Musk giving $1 million to every person that registers to vote.
Yeah.
What level of insanity are we reaching with these billionaires interfering with your lives?
You were talking about Elon Musk. All right. He owns or controls 2/3 of the satellites in space.
Okay.
He was invited to Israel a few months ago, knowing that he is in control of 2/3 of the satellite. The reason why he has so many satellites is because, you know, that's his interest. He wants to create a city on Mars one day, right?
By the way, here's what happens when you don't give kids attention, but you give them money instead.
Yeah. Well, but there is no denying that he is a genius. That
No,
he
he's
is,
not. Oh my God.
no,
No, he's not.
Elon Musk, you don't think
He's
Elon Musk?
not a genius. He had money that he invested in PayPal. He got a payout and he got lucky. He bought out Tesla because he got lucky. The engineers were there. He just had money. This man is not, there's no education.
He's not an inventor?
No. Everything that he got, he just bought out. This man is not an inventor of anything. He had money from his South African dad that he exploited the mines. The opal mines.
So he's just a mindless billionaire?
Yes.
Almost a trillionaire?
Yes, they all are. Same with Bezos. $500,000 investment from his parents to hire all these engineers to start Amazon for him. They are not smart. Innovators don't make it to this level.
Well, okay. I've never met a dumb billionaire in my life. I'm sure they've got some sort of intelligence.
It's not intelligence when it's investment and daddy's money.
Okay, well, whatever it is, it doesn't change the fact that he now owns 2/3 of the satellites in space. And he had a meeting in Israel because Israel want access to his 2/3 of the satellites, which he initially refused. No, this is for personal, not personal, this is for my projects that I want to do. Now, they can't buy him because what would be the point? What can they give him that he doesn't already have? He's got money. He's got more money than the Zionists right now because he's almost close to a trillionaire.
Nah.
He's almost close to a trillionaire.
Nah.
If not, the money can be matched.
His money is in banks.
All right, but
That's where the money is. That's who owns him.
But Elon Musk right now is on the verge of being the world's, or if not already, the world's wealthiest man.
No, he's not.
All right, but they've been writing articles about that.
Look, okay, this is what we have to like understand with these people being celebrities. There are celebrity forefront billionaires that they show us to say, you can also make it. Look how he started. He started from the bottom and he made it all the way to the top. There are people with real money and power who controls the American government, the Australians. That's the people with power. Elon Musk is who and I know as billionaires. That's what I'm saying. He has his money and investment in a bank. He doesn't have the $400 billion like accessible to him. That's someone owns that. They are somewhere in investment. Those are his bosses. Elon Musk has people that are bigger than him that control the American government and everything that's happening. This is a billionaire that is at the front, not a genius, not anything.
So now he's just the face of it all.
He is the face of accessible capitalism.
Okay, well,
That's why he's got this background story. Like, I'm a genius and I made it in the tech industry. Bullshit.
But he must have some sense of influence or control because when he initially refused to have anybody have access to his 2/3 of the satellite. After his visit to Israel, he gave them permission to access his satellite, and he started to endorse them and push them and speak for them on their behalf.
Yeah.
Now, what went from no, you can't to I'm now sucking their dicks?
Because they own him. All his investments.
Do they
everything
own
is
him?
there.
Do they own him, or do they take him and say, we're going to take you down if you don't do what we want?
No, I don't think it's that.
You don't think they would have threatened him in any way?
To become a billionaire, he didn't make his money from making cars and satellites.
No, okay, we've established that. We've established how he made his money.
He is in the tech industry.
Yeah, okay.
That's what Israel is.
Yeah. Okay, fine. All right. Mark Zuckerberg.
Same
He's
thing.
just all right. He was just a regular student. All right.
That stole the idea from same thing.
He stole an idea, but he did build something, and he did it, and he did it his way, and he became successful. No problem. All right. But it was just for regular people like us to use, to send photos and whatever. We all know what Facebook was all about.
That was what was presented to us.
Do you think there's some kind of conspiracy behind it?
Oh my God, like
All right, because
money, the width of when it goes from millionaire to billionaire, that shift.
Yeah, okay,
that's not normal.
No, it's not normal, but it does happen. It does happen. Let's say those brothers that came up with it, that came up with the original idea for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's say that it didn't get stolen, and they were the ones that were successful for it, and they probably wouldn't have named it Facebook because they had their own way of wanting to do it, but it was the same idea. Let's say they became successful, and we are on this network, and it got billions and whatever. Do you think somewhere down the road that they would have been approached?
Yes, 100%.
By Zionism? All right.
All other social media, look at them all. They all have.
Okay. Now the thing is, like, a lot of people are now hating on Penny Wong. Okay. Now maybe when she first started in politics, she had bright ideas. She wanted to do positive change, whatever. It's not uncommon that when a politician, or anyone in particular, but particularly in politics, when you become very influential, the original influencers, when you become really influential, that people start to listen, that's when things can go easily wrong very quickly. In the sense that, shit, people are listening to this woman. We need her on our side. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that somebody got to her, that said to her, listen, you're saying this, we're against it. You make this much a year, I'm going to quadruple it. All right? And you're going to get this every year while you're in politics. Even 10 years after you retire, we're going to give it to you. Tell this story, not that story. And that's when people start to turn on her. Hey, she wasn't like this. She was saying this. Why is she saying that now? Obviously, money can change people. All right? And politics,
But it
all
never
about...
changes them that much.
Yeah, but politics has always been about power and nothing more.
Politics is power, nothing more.
Whoever's in charge, you need that person to be under your thumb. So you can maneuver them in the way that you want. And at the end, Politicians are people, human beings, just like you and I. We both have mortgages. We both have children. I know you don't have children, but they got children. They got schools to pay for. They got this to pay for. They got this to pay for. So when anybody comes in with a large wad of money and they're going to say to you, you're going to get this for the next many years, if you just say this, this, and this, you abandon your morals. Many of them do. I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of them do. They abandon their morals. They abandon their ambitions why they became a politician. All right? They abandon the whole reason for it because they all surrender to the almighty dollar. And this dollar, where are they going to get this money from? They want to make every human being wants to try to make as much as they can before they check out, so they can leave something for their children or for whoever. Now, I honestly believe that Penny Wong has become a victim of this.
Oh.
All right. No.
She does not deserve a victim
No,
title. Please.
No. What I'm saying is she has become a victim into just taking the money. She's not a victim herself, but she has fallen for this charade.
No,
that
she
so many
has
people
made
want.
a full-grown human choice.
Do you think
to
that
be
she
involved in politics?
You don't think there was any influence that made her change her mind?
There is not a fucking number of dollars in this world that would make me join the Labour Party, let alone sit in my house while this genocide is happening.
No, of course no. That because that's you. I'll be the same. But the thing
But
is,
that's what I'm saying. It's not a victim thing. It's
Yeah,
not.
no.
You got influenced.
So
no.
Do you believe that she was confronted in this way? That she had this power, that she had this influence, that somebody came up to her and said, "Stop it."
Yes,
say
and
this?
if it gets to that point,
Yeah.
you say, "I'm done. I'm out. Thank you so much."
Because it wasn't
This goes against my morals. That's what I'm
Because-
saying.
yeah.
Money will not change you that much. If you went in with these morals from the get-go, there's nothing that will
So
sway
you think if that somewhere deep inside of her, without the money, without the presence of money being there, that somewhere inside of her that she decided on her own, by herself, with her own intelligence, with her own research, to go from wanting to recognize Palestine to just recognizing Israel?
and funding this genocide? Yes.
You think she did this on her own without any
Yes.
outside influence, without any pressure?
I don't care if there's pressure. These are her actions.
Okay, no. It's what we care about is right now is irrelevant. What I'm trying to establish is you don't think there was some kind of an influence.
It's not
or
an
a
influence.
threat
It's like it's the party lines.
or a bribe.
I can probably yes to all the above. My point is, she joined the Labour Party knowing these are the rules. Support Israel. This will happen. Yes. She agreed to this. You went to the Labour Party knowing all their policies.
Okay.
Unhappy with them. The genocide starts. You're still unhappy with it. Why are you still in the parliament? Why are you still a politician?
Okay.
The real victims are the ones being bombed by us.
Yeah.
Not Penny Wong.
Yeah, no. Of course not.
Like that's.
I was just simply trying to establish how when people are in power, the ones that get a lot of light on them, the ones that people start to listen to, the ones that people start to follow and understand, they're going to get corrupted somehow because they are making people hear the truth. And there are some people out there that don't want that truth to be told.
And sometimes the one that spoke the truth, they kill. The ones that they can't speak their opinions, they kill.
They either kill them or try to discredit them, right? Or buy them. These are the only three options. Malcolm X is a whole different issue. I love talking about Malcolm X, and we can always talk about Malcolm. But if we go back to the 60s, when JFK was president, JFK was already wealthy. All right, his father made money during the Prohibition by bootlegging alcohol. They made a fortune. And when he appointed his brother Robert Kennedy to be Attorney General, the first thing Robert Kennedy did before going after the mob, the first thing he did was he fired everybody in the White House that took a bribe.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Anybody that took a bribe was fired. He wanted a clean White House.
That's so ironic to even say out loud.
No. He wanted a clean White House, and I'm not
Never happened. Never will.
And I'm not talking about a Puerto Rican cleaning. No. I'm talking about a real clean White House. He wanted no corruption. He wanted none of it. If you take a bribe, you're not in my administration. Okay, which is why he didn't want LBJ as Kennedy's vice president. Lyndon Johnson, because Lyndon Johnson was the kind of person. I mean, he was influential, but he'll talk, he'll do whatever you want for the right price, and Robert hated that. All right, but the thing is, like they kept it clean, and because he was clean, and JFK was clean. Take away his womanizing. Who cares about that? He knew how to run a country, and he did it well to the best of his abilities. But he didn't want to play ball. So what happened? They couldn't bribe him. They couldn't blackmail him. And they couldn't discredit him because he was beloved. People loved this man, not just in the States, but
I don't know much
outside
about
of
him
America.
actually, so I'm not too sure yet.
No. If you look up about JFK, he was loved throughout the world.
I know, like in pop culture, like there's always referred to the Kennedys and stuff.
Yeah, but he was loved.
Yeah.
So what other option did they have? They only had one. Bang, bang. That was the only way to get rid of him. All right? So whenever people get into a certain power in politics, one way or another, they're going to get gotten.
Yeah.
Whether they're going to be bought to play their game, be discredited in a way if they don't play their game, and if they get discredited but they're still influential and they can't be bought, then it's option number 3, which is bang, bang.
Look, all I know is that Malcolm X hated him, and I will hate who hated.
Oh, no. Malcolm X. All right, no. All right.
Malcolm hated JFK
No.
'cause he
No.
enjoyed-
No. Let me tell you what. Malcolm X at that time hated white people.
Yeah, he hated liberals.
All right.
like, yeah, the libs.
No. White people. All right. He was supporting segregation. He actually wanted separation from the white race to the black race.
That was for a while though.
No.
It changed.
No, Malcolm X is a man of transition, okay? But when he first converted to the Nation of Islam, being a black Muslim, before becoming a real Muslim, when he was a black Muslim, he was pushing the narrative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
Yeah.
right? And Elijah Muhammad even said to Malcolm X, nobody should say anything about this man.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But Malcolm X, because of his hatred of white people, his betrayal that he suffered through of white people, right? He made that statement when he was
Look,
kicked out. No.
I understand where he came from. It was a sarcastic comment to the media, and I respect that. And I stand by that.
No. He was fearless.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
he was fearless, and he would take you down when he wanted to. When he was kicked out of the Nation of Islam, he went to Mecca.
He was still in it when he went, by the way.
No. He was still kind of. He was hoping to be back, but they knew that he wasn't. He knew that he wasn't going to be taken back. So he went to Mecca. He went on a 90-day pilgrimage. All right, and in Mecca and in Saudi Arabia, they did not recognize the Nation of Islam as a religion. They did not. They didn't see it as real Muslim. They did not. So he came back home a changed man because he saw that I'm eating with Muslims who are Asian and white and brown. I'm not just eating with blacks anymore. Okay? So his perspective changed. He regretted later on in his life what he said about JFK. He actually regretted it. He never made a statement about it, but his daughter would always say that he wished he didn't have to say that because he did know at the end that he was a good man. But when during that part of his conversion and the rise of JFK, he resented him in a huge way. But that was during that part of his life.
But I think it's more than just him being white. Genuinely, I think it's the liberal politics of the South at the time. Because he said, because he was, what I know about it at the time is that he said they sit in the White House pretending to be your friends, but they're the same people from the South.
Yeah, but okay. But the thing is, he was really against white people in general. He was.
That's what I'm saying. It was for a while.
For a long time.
Yeah.
While he was with the Nation of Islam, he was anti-white. He was preaching.
They had just come out of slavery.
Yeah,
like
he was
their
teaching.
experiences.
He was teaching black supremacy. He was doing exactly what the whites were doing, but in the opposite direction.
Oh my God! Okay, that's not.
No. They didn't lynch white people. They didn't kill white people.
White supremacy and black supremacy are not even in the same
But
playing field.
he was teaching black supremacy.
It's not black supremacy more than here is our history and
No,
here's
of
what you should
course.
be claiming.
But that's not to say that what he wasn't saying wasn't intelligent. What he wasn't saying had a good point of view.
Yeah, but we can't put it as it's the opposite end of white
No.
supremacy.
But the thing is, like a lot of people were arguing, how different are you to those white racists if you are showing black
Incomparable.
racists?
We
You know?
shouldn't compare even.
All right. Malcolm transcended. He transcended. He was like, he was saying whites at this point can't join us, but they can help us. We cannot have black-white unity until there's a bit of black unity. Once we get some black unity, we want to include whites. We want to include Hispanics.
Yeah, he said they won't organize us, but they work with us.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He wanted to integrate. You know, 5 years before that, he was talking about segregation. All right?
Because the only white people he knew were the Americans that enslaved him and his family.
The trip to Mecca had changed his perspective of his religion, of his reality entirely.
Yeah.
Did a complete 180 on him. All right? And but there was once upon a time when he was saying shit about anybody that was white. He wanted to attack white people because he loved it at that point in his conversion.
I don't think. No, it's more than that. It's not just feelings. It was for a reason.
People were saying to him, if you want to beat the white man, you gotta learn how to play the white man's game. Read between the lines. because it used every word they used against them. You know.
Yeah.
You know
It
what I mean?
wasn't as malice or as like unintentional.
No.
It was
But
calculated and
did
political.
He did it intelligently. He
Yeah,
did
of
it
course.
calmly.
Yeah.
All right, and he was ferocious about it. All right, and 9 times out of 10 he won. 9.5 times out of 10 he won. I don't think he even lost half the time. But you know, but yeah. But sorry, we got off topic a little bit here because I love talking about Malcolm X. I love talking about Martin Luther King. I love talking about JFK. If I could live in any period, if it wasn't the 90s, I would probably want to live in the 60s just to be able to see that, to live in that time, to be able to feel what it was like when all this was going on. Because I think America started to lose their innocence during the 60s to the mid 70s, when they started to lose what they were really all about. With all these killings, they killed JFK. He was the first one to go. Then they killed Malcolm X. Sorry, they killed Martin Luther King. Then they killed Robert Kennedy. All right. Sorry, Malcolm X. Then Robert Kennedy. The point is, a lot of these top people were getting wiped off, and these are the
Influential people.
And these were the people that exactly they couldn't be bought. They couldn't be discredited. They were trying to discredit them, but they had too much followers, too much love. So they bang, bang, bang. All right. So that's still going on today. We don't see it as much, but it's still going on today.
We see it.
No, we don't see the bang 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 as much because more people are just taking the bribes. More people are just wanting to be paid out. Fine, buy me. I don't care anymore. Buy me. I'll say whatever you want me to say. I don't have to believe it, and I know I'm going to get a lot of negative comments from the people that I'm supporting. All right, fuck it. I don't want to die. I don't want to be discredited. Give me the money. I can live with myself. I can take this humiliation and live with. Some people can do it. Others would be like, no, I'd rather you kill me. No, tell them that I had sex with a child. I don't care. It's not
my
true.
God.
That's what they're discrediting. You know, they're going to say,
Yeah.
oh, he's a pedophile or he pushes drugs on children. They want to do whatever they can to make sure that this person should not be heard. You know, so that's why they say, take the money or we'll make these rumors about you. And if we make these rumors about you and you're still getting this, everybody's still loving you, then we're going to have to kill you. You know, now. So so obviously these politicians have sold their souls, all right, and they're gonna get away with it. They are getting away with it, and they're going to get away with it. 50 years down the line, 60 years down the line, when they're dead and buried, they've gotten away with it. The only thing that we can hope for is that they don't escape the eye of God, should God exist. God willing, He does. So we've established that, like, when people get into power, they become a target. They become under the Zionist thumb. Now, when we went back to Elon Musk, he couldn't be bought because he doesn't need more money. I mean, how much more
His
money?
money is tied to Israel.
That's
That's
okay.
His money
But
is there.
the thing is, it went from asking, "Can we use?"
To him willingly given.
to
Yes.
willing, you know,
Because his
something had
investment-
happened. Now, what I'm saying is, whatever happened there, it could not have been about money.
Yes, it is money.
Right.
What does Elon Musk have to lose? What else?
But he has access to so much of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you saying to me that it would have cut him off completely? No.
His investment, that's what I'm saying. These people don't have like tangible money. It's investments in these companies. It's all these things. Israel is known for its tech. That's what they're testing all these weapons on. The Palestinians.
Yeah.
That's how he makes his money. It's not like, oh, I'm scared of something. That's what his wealth is tied to. He is a multi-billionaire. All of them, they have ties going back to that place. That's how capitalism is working. Who do you think invests in all these companies, like the manufacturing companies? It's not you and I with our little money in our bank accounts. It's these multi-billionaires that can invest in there. Elon Musk, for his capital to stay up, why is he standing on stage with Trump trying to advocate for him if it's not going to benefit him at the end of the day? Do you think he's given $1 million a day leading up to the election for no reason? There is no way they're doing this if there's no self-interest at the end. There's nothing. They're seeing these people being blown to bits, like you said. Nothing will speak to them like their dollar will.
No, of course not. Everybody surrenders to the almighty dollar. Even people on our side, the Arab leaders that are not doing anything, that have the power to do things, that are not doing things,
That are blocking things from happening.
or they're blocking things from happening, they are succumbing to the almighty dollar. Sadly, because it makes me feel ashamed to be part of that region. Like, how can people that lead us or are responsible for our well-being can turn their backs on us? You know, one of the
they
things.
never had our backs.
You know, but
That's the
okay, but
problem.
the thing is, we never wanted to believe that growing up. You know what I mean? Like when you grow up belonging to a country or belonging to a region, like let's say you're growing up, you know, you were born and raised in Australia, you would want to believe that the Australian government has your back, regardless, constantly, willingly, all right, unconditionally, because you are from this land. You feel that sense of betrayal when they go against their own morals, their own beliefs, and when they don't have their own backbone, and they succumb to a foreign policy that's not of their own, just so, whether it's money or a threat or whatever, you feel betrayed. All right, and a lot of Arabs slash Venetians, like Lebanese people, we feel betrayed as well, from this happening. Now, what I want to get to next is that now the elections are coming up November 5th between the only two candidates. Well, three if you want to include Jill Stein.
There's more, but these are the ones everyone talks about.
Yeah. All right. Now, I still can't understand how the amount of people that live in the States that these are the only two that are running. All right. I'm watching this election. I'm watching the Trump's campaign and Kamala's campaign, and honestly, I'm gonna say something horrible here, but I don't care. I don't censor myself here like you guys do. It just looks like who is the biggest cocksucker for Israel? Who's gonna suck the better dick?
100%.
Who's sucking the better dick? That's all it is.
I'll give you $28 billion. No, I'll give you 30.
And they're all
That's how it
saying,
works.
and they're all competing about who's going to do more for Israel.
Yeah.
They're not mentioning what they're doing for their people. They're not mentioning how much money they should raise for the hurricane that recently happened in the States. They gave those people $18 million for aid, while on the same week they gave Israel $28 billion in military aid. You know what I mean? If anybody needs that $28 billion, it's those people that suffered the hurricane that lost all their homes. Some even lost members of their families, right? But no, they're not going to take care of themselves. They want to take care of somebody else
To protect their interest and wealth in Israel.
So we've established this has become common knowledge. The American government has never cared for their people. That saying that what was it that Lincoln came up with? This is the government by the people, for the people, and whatever for the people. Remember?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I'm sure that was a thing in the 1800s.
In the 1800s, while they had black slaves in the backyard, no worries.
But
Please.
for the white people, but things for the citizens, okay? They did do things for their own land, for their own country. They did.
For their own, for
For their own
themselves.
interest.
Yeah.
Before outside policies and outside interests came in to give them more money. But the thing is, so what we're looking at here is like the only thing that's missing is one person to represent Israel, to be sitting on a throne with his pants down and saying, you first, and then you second, and then I decide who's going to be the president. That's what it looks like to me.
So we're going to do a lot for Israel, and we're behind them.
I've had an unwavering commitment to the existence of the State of Israel.
I mean, that's what it just appears to be. So I don't think it's going to make a difference who's going to be president, whether it's Harris or Trump. It's not going to make the slightest difference. It's always going to benefit Israel, and the Arabs are going to suffer. And the American people are going to continue to pay higher taxes to fund Israel's ideology. So
Israel's existence.
Literal
existence, yeah.
So they can have more assholes to create those podcasts with those two nice Jewish guys. We should create one, just two normal people versus the two nice Jewish guys. Sounds like a science fiction movie. I don't think it's possible. But no,
because they're sitting there talking about genocide.
But the thing is, they should not be calling themselves two nice Jewish guys. Just call yourselves two. If you want to use the word nice, fine. But you can't use nice and Jewish. You can use nice and Zionist, which is an oxymoron, taking two words that are the exact opposite of each other, putting it in the title. That makes more sense. Now we have a lot of when we were talking about how articles and videos that are released that there is a connection with celebrities. Now we have a lot of Israeli supporters, but when you say there are Israeli supporters and there are Jewish supporters, and they are not exactly the same. Right? Israeli supporters are like Zionist supporters, which are, like I mentioned before, Bill Maher, Piers Morgan, Amy Schumer, Deborah Messing, Gal Gadot, Sacha Baron Cohen, Michael Rappaport, Selma Blair, and
irrelevant. Literally all irrelevant.
Yeah, but
people.
they're irrelevant. All right, but when they go for younger celebrities when they were young, like Bieber and Harry Styles, They got them when they were young. They probably had no idea what's going on at the time. You know what I mean? All right, but they have a lot of fans, and Israel wants those fans. All right, so and then recently you see Bieber wearing a Palestinian.
Kafir, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Someone messaged me, actually. I posted a story. And mind you, 0 messages before with this girl. Messages me, by the way, he was posting something about supporting Israel in November last year. I was like, you know what? I think I sent her a screenshot from one of your messages. I was like, if he doesn't convert to our side, are we meant to accept that he's forever Israeli?
Yeah.
Isn't the point of what we're doing is to get people on our side?
Yeah.
Bieber's manager is a hardcore Zionist. Scooter Braun is a hardcore Zionist man. For him to see one of the biggest pop stars in the world driving with a kafir on that day, what would that have done to him? It hasn't saved a single Palestinian life, but like you said, the fact that Israel gets to these people to spread their propaganda, for one of them one day to break out of that cycle and put a red kafir on his head while driving to Los Angeles.
See, I've never respected Bieber as an artist, but if
14-year-old me had a different mentality.
It's fine. What he does is irrelevant. All right. But the thing is, he actually grew his own brain and started thinking on his own without being told what to think.
Exactly. Isn't that the point of the protest? Of what we're doing is to get our idea across, get our message across, and say this is not the truth.
It's just important to actually have your own words. Even if his own words were against us, if it was his own words, then he had no influence. I can respect that, because if it was his own words and he's not being influenced, then he's open to debate. So he's open to actually even change his mind. Now, if we go to pro-Palestinian celebrities, I'll name the obvious ones that are pro-Palestinian, like Susan Sarandon, Mark Ruffalo, The Weeknd, Macklemore, Rami Youssef, obviously. But here are some names that I am surprised that are pro-Palestinian. Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
Billie Eilish.
She just wore a little pin and took it off during the Grammys.
The fact, if she won 2 Oscars and she's pro-Palestinian, I'm surprised I haven't taken them away from her. All right. Natalie Portman.
Pretty sure she's a Zionist.
No, she's not. She is not. No. I done my research.
Okay.
All right. Jon Stewart, obviously, and Roger Waters. And now Natalie Portman, she's a proud Israeli citizen. She is. Okay. She's proud to be an Israeli. There's nothing wrong being proud of where you're from, who you are, and what you're all about.
The place you're from is imaginary, but anyway.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay. That's irrelevant. But she was proud to represent what she was believed to be representing. She's not for the ideology. She is appalled with the suffering of Palestinians. She even said it.
This is liberal Zionism.
No. But the thing is, she is a pro-Palestinian. She's an Israeli. She's Jewish, but
this is what I'm saying. Ethan Klein from HTS is the same thing. It's I'm against the genocide. I'm against Netanyahu. But Israel existence is fine. Occupation completely fine.
Okay.
We don't. That's what I'm saying. She's a Zionist. We don't accept this.
No. Okay. You know what? This is still open for debate. But with what I read about her, because she was in an interview one time in the Gulf region where she was promoting one of her movies. I think it was Black Swan or whatever it is that she was promoting. And the Arab interviewer was saying,
recently we had the Israeli-Jewish state law that made you more superior than me because you're Jewish and I'm not. How do you feel about that?
It's racist, and there's nothing else to say about that. And it's wrong, and I disagree with that. It's hard to be from a place where your life, like, you were saying, you don't have a choice. It's political. Like, you're put in the position, and it's the people you love, and their lives are personally affected by all of the decisions politicians make and that their neighbors make for them. I just hope to be part of changing that and making us, like, truly love our neighbors.
Whether she's saying this just to be on their good side, or she's handling it very well, all right. But I can't help but think that I just really feel that she's very genuine with what she says. It's like she wants the best from both sides.
That's liberal Zionist.
But the thing is, she has not said anything appalling against Palestinians.
She didn't have to say it.
All right. But she hasn't said anything supportive about what Israel is doing.
That's what we keep saying. Your silence is khalas. Your silence is enough.
No, but okay.
What do you mean? Like, I'm a proud Israeli. This genocide? Silence.
Yeah.
You've said your position.
The whole Natalie Portman thing, open to debate. I'll have to double check. I guess I need to hear the words. I support Palestine. I'm against what my country's doing. I'll have to hear those words to be convinced. Now, one celebrity that we don't talk enough about, that the media doesn't talk enough about, is one of my favorite comedians and actors, is Billy Crystal. For those who don't know who Billy Crystal is, he was in When Harry Met Sally, Analyze This, Analyze That, Mr. Saturday Night, Forget Paris. The list just goes on and on. Now, Billy Crystal, I think in the late 90s or early 2000s, he opened up a school known as Peace Through Performing Arts program. It's called Peace Through Performing Arts that he opened in Jerusalem, where he gets Palestinians and Israelis together, regardless of what religion they are, being Jews or Muslim or Christians, but they must work together in this peace through performing arts by making plays or movies or songs, musicals, whatever. He founded this. This was his idea. And it's not talked about enough. This is a way of him showing people. Now, Billy Crystal has never said, not to my knowledge at least, has never said what Israel is doing is wrong, and he's never. I don't think he was ever put in a position to say these things. But he made his actions clear by opening a school where everybody is welcome, because Jerusalem is a segregated place. Okay, he opened a university for anybody that lives in the region who are qualified to enroll. That says a lot. Without him having to say, I'm against what Israel is doing or I'm for the Palestinian people, that he doesn't need to make a statement. This statement alone, what he's doing right now, is important. And I think it was the late 90s, because he mentioned this when he was in the show.
Is there a Billy Crystal scholarship by any chance anywhere on this earth?
There is. At the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, I started a program called Peace of the Performing Arts. And it's Arabs and Palestinian and Israeli actors and directors working together in plays. I can't tell you how proud I am of the fact that these groups work together in peace. And I'm thrilled about what's happening there.
So
it was a huge revelation. Something that nobody had expected. And the fact that this came out from Billy Crystal, who was very, very Jewish, and a lot of his jokes is about his people, right? For him to make that first step makes me feel ashamed that Arab celebrities didn't think of this either. And he has Arab staff and Jewish staff working together. It's not just the students, the entire faculty.
Yep. Lead by example. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why aren't they talking about this? Why aren't they mentioning more about this?
It doesn't serve the agenda. What do you mean a bunch of Israeli and Christian and Arab Muslim kids making art together?
Yeah. Not long ago, I saw a video. It was an experimentation video of a Jewish person dressed in Jewish clothes with an Arab person dressed in Khaliji Arab clothes, and they're walking side by side with a cup of coffee in their hand, talking and walking through the streets of New York. And everybody's looking at them like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? Like, they were so shocked to see two people of different religions.
As if this wasn't the reality of pre-Zionism. As if this wasn't how we lived pre-Zionism.
They are demonstrating what it was like hundreds of years ago in the Middle East.
For hundreds of
years. And that's been going on for a long
Yeah.
time. And the reaction that these people had, like, it's like they were looking at something that doesn't exist. Like, huh? Huh?
We need this. This is what we needed in the whole world. Some peace and everything like that.
Yeah,
glad to see you guys doing here.
What do you think when you see a Muslim and a Jewish working?
Highly unlikely. It's usually never happening in this real world.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you guys together like that.
Nice.
Sending the
No
message
problem,
out there. We need peace, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
They saw something like it didn't exist, right? And they were shocked. But there's nothing shocking about it, all right? Who put that in their minds for it to be shocking? Zionists. That ideology. They are preaching hate. George Galloway said, Zionism is racism. Zionism is hatred. That's all it is. My final question is, like, how can we get people to understand what Zionism is really all about?
It's all the above. It's the education, it's the protests, it's the speak to people at work, it's the wear your keffiyeh, it's the read the book and share it on your social media. That's the only tool that we have. We have elections coming up next year. Make your vote, your disagreement to this
In the next
happening
12
in
days,
the elections.
actually, yeah.
No, like for Australia here. It's
next for Australia,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, it's next year. So this is what we have access to. Like you said, we feel hopeless and helpless most of the time. Like, what else? The reality of I have not saved a single Palestinian life from dying. Like, that will sit with us. We have not stopped a single one person from getting killed. But what are we doing about it? We're going to keep these thousands of people did not know we were manufacturing weapons for Israel from here. That's been in the media. That's been public. We know locations of where these manufacturers are. We know of these locations inside of our universities now. We are just more aware of what's happening, and the more awareness rises. But we need that to be met with action. Whatever action it is, whatever action we have in our local communities, whatever action we can do to rally the community together in any way that we can deliver this message across. Get ex-Zionists to come and speak to them. What broke you out of the system? What changed your mind? People that have gone on their birthright trips. A lot of people have said, I went there and I saw the apartheid with my own eyes and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
We need to hear from these people. We need to normalize the idea that not all Jewish people believe in this, because half of them didn't even know this was the reality inside of Palestine. This is what we have access to. I'm an artist. I've been painting about this because what else do I have to do? For the galleries that I walk into, for the museums that I walk into, I wear my keffiyeh. I speak about this. I say I've been doing the protest. That's our tool. And whatever you are in society, your access in society, who your friends are, if you're friends with politicians, that access should give you more opportunities to reach people with power to hopefully sway them from this genocide, sway away from capitalism. It's not going to take one or two of us. It's going to take millions of us rallying together until this stops.
We need like our own million Palestinian march kind of thing, or million Arab march. Yeah. That would definitely be a sight to see. Well, speaking of marching, when is the next protest?
Every Sunday, so 2:00 at Parliament House.
Every Sunday? So it's not every second Sunday anymore?
No. It's been every Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Every
I thought it was every second Sunday.
No.
Okay. Well, Melak,
thank you.
Thanks for joining me again. Please, for those who are watching, every Sunday at the Parliament House, 2 p.m., just come and show your support. For those who want to involve yourself in the protest, or just to get educated and listen to some speeches from some amazing speakers, you'll learn a thing or two. I want to thank Melak Khaleel for being my guest. Third time in a row. We have a hat trick, all right? And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I love talking with you. I love debating with you. I love the back and forth. We don't agree on everything, but we agree on the most important things, which is very vital. And be sure you can always follow Melak on her Instagram page, which is right there. All right, and be sure to follow me on my YouTube, which is @Majid&Dairy, or on my Instagram, Fame Film Agency. And until next time, everybody, see you then.